One Piece manga chapter 931. Again, we just came out of a 2-week break, so it's actually great having to see a chapter again, and hopefully we shouldn't have any breaks anytime soon, or I'm hoping that we shouldn't anyways. Now this chapter was actually fast in terms of progression because we covered 3 different plot lines. One with Sanji in page 1. Surprisingly, Robin's already on the move for one of the poneglyphs, and then we finally move on to Big Mom resurfacing in this chapter, which I thought wouldn't happen anytime soon. I personally was expecting at least 4 to 5 chapters before we got to see Big Mom again, and I think a lot of people might not like the whole thing surrounding Big Mom in this chapter, which I will get back to later in this video. Now Sanji versus page 1. Now this was honestly so refreshing to see. I think it's been a couple of years that we've actually seen Sanji in a 1v1 fight, obviously not including brief scuffles here and there that he had during Whole Cake, because those were simply clashes. But I think a lot of us in the community, and myself included, has been waiting for Sanji to get an actual fight. Giving us something here with Sanji before the major fight actually goes down is really important, as it gives us a gauge of where Sanji ranks as a fighter. Because one of the bigger issues we had was that we didn't really know how strong Sanji was for the longest. It was very vague, not just for Sanji but also for Zoro, because they didn't have any fights for a really long time. The person we know when it comes to where they rank as a fighter is definitely Luffy, because he's had a lot of fights in the New World, major fights and minor. So I like where Oda is going with this. I think after Sanji we're gonna get something with Zoro as well. Now Sanji's raid suit was finally revealed in this chapter. Again, it looks a lot like the ones that his siblings have, but the difference here is the color scheme, which is black and yellow, and his hair also changed. If anything, he actually looks a lot like Niji in a sense, and he also has a face mask. And just like the other Vinsmokes, he also has a nickname, which is Stealth Black. Now it's funny because all this information was actually given to us by Law, because we know Law is actually from the North Blue, and the Tales of Jarma was pretty huge there. Now, like a lot of people called, Sanji's raid suit gives him the ability to become invisible, which is like a pseudo devil fruit at this point. And this really goes back to Sanji during Thriller Bark saying that he wanted the Clair fruit ever since he was a kid when he was fighting Absalom. So I guess you could say that this dream is sort of realized, but obviously there's going to be some conflict here with Sanji, because earlier in this arc Sanji said that he didn't want to become stronger using the raid suit. So I think there's going to be a back and forth with Sanji. But obviously Sanji showed in this chapter that if this is a power that he can use to save his friends, he would use it regardless of his ideals or his hatred towards the Vinsmoke. And I like this because the Straw Hats are going to clash with Kaido head on. They're going to be dealing with a Yonko head on, and possibly another Yonko. And so they have to do what is necessary to win, regardless of how they feel about certain things. Now Sanji was fast before, but it seems like he's a lot faster, on top of the fact that he can actually disappear as well. So observation is definitely needed to fight Sanji, and his attacks were strong enough to force page 1 into his hybrid transformation in the first blow. Obviously page 1 is going to have the upper hand with physical strength, given that he's an ancient zone, but even then Sanji's attacks are pretty heavy and are putting work on page 1, and so that's dope to see. It's always great to see Sanji, you know, having his time to shine, because this man gets shitted on by Oda like every time. So this was definitely great to see. Then we have Big Mom. I didn't think we were gonna see her back this soon. I thought certain things had to happen on Wano before Big Mom makes it to the island, but this makes sense as well, given that she and her crew have been separated. But not only that, she also lost her memories as well, and I think this is something that a lot of people aren't gonna like, because Whole Cake did leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And you know, Big Mom coming to Wano and similar things happening would definitely trigger a lot of people. Now why she lost her memories, I'm not sure, but Big Mom isn't exactly the most stable of individuals as we have seen in Whole Cake Island. So I'm not surprised things like this could happen. Perhaps it's related to her devil fruit ability, but it seems like Oda is definitely setting something up to happen between the Straw Hats and Big Mom. A potential alliance maybe, but again, that wouldn't make sense because the whole reason she came here was for Luffy. So yeah, it's a bit shaky for me right now because I'm not sure what to think when it comes to Big Mom, but I'm definitely interested in seeing where Oda takes this. Again, just my quick thoughts on this chapter. Again, comment down below what you guys think. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more One Piece content on this channel. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you guys later. Peace.